God almighty. What a what a wild man. Good morning. There's nobody in here, so I think I'll sing a song. What shall we sing today? Would it be a song of here we go. Wonder how long the power will stay on. Oh, oh, yeah, yeah. Whoa, 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 that's scary. That is scary right there. Ugh. Let me get this over here. Well, I look awful. I don't have to worry about it. It's just going to be me and some of the boys, right? Yeah, I can't do anything with my hair. Speaking of hair, it reminds me of a song. There's an Indian out there fixing to take my hair. A coward I've been called, but I don't want to end up dead or bald. Please, Mr. Custer, I don't want to go. Wow. I was in Yakima, Washington when I first time I heard that song. It's it's just not a. I'm just not getting this thing the way I want it. uh, I just can't get myself adjusted. Well, it's Sunday. I believe it was Mama and the Papas had a song. Sunday, Sunday. That's the only word I remember. I guess I should turn my phone on here. And so I can see when my box goes off over there. And that way I won't be talking in the dead air. I see lots of zeros up there, so everybody's sleeping in on Sunday. That's all right. Let me turn the volume down here just in case. Okay, got it all the way down to the bottom. I don't leave my phone on at night. When I get up in the morning, It's always chock full of things I missed during the night. What? Oh, got somebody in there. Who could it be? Who could it be? Somebody is looking at me. And we're looking back at them. Well, good morning to you, stranger. Oh, the brown chicken. Oh, good morning. Gotta change my phone, but I'll be watching. Oh, okay. Well, you hang in there, buddy. We don't know how long we can hang in. Every time the power blips here, it turns my box off, it turns my Wi-Fi off, and my TV goes off, and the computer will reset because it's on a battery system. But do what you got to do, and we're going to be here. There we go. That way we can tell if we're live. Are we live or are we Memorex? Yeah. When that box, if the power blips, I see the light blink, we will know we're off the air. Ain't that crazy? Have to have two devices to be able to stay on the air. Well, I hope everybody's doing well today. All those people that are stricken in Florida, that's got to be horrible. A lot of my relatives, they called yesterday and they was concerned. I guess our baby sister, they haven't heard from her for a while. But the power is off for the reason they haven't heard from her. Who's that right there just coming there? What? Is it Drum? Good morning to you. Welcome to my channel. I'm Old Mac. And we live in the woods. We live in the deep woods of Alabama. Our power goes off a lot. And we have no internet. The closest tower to me is 7 miles. So out there, I have a pole up with two antennas, a 2.5 and a 5 gigahertz antenna pointed towards where the tower is supposed to be. And we're on the very fringed area. Oh, Rod. Oh, I didn't recognize, buddy. I did not recognize. I don't recognize everybody's call letters. Rod, well, good morning to you. Well, you know the whole story. I live out in the woods. I live deep in the woods. And there's no lines. There's no no telephone. We don't even have telephone out here. We only have this, cell from somewhere, wherever, AT&T. I've got 2 bars. This morning I got 2 bars on the phone, no signal. Well, have you had a good summer, Rod? Has your health been good? We've been doing pretty good here. I put on 6,000 miles this year on my motorcycle, and we're going to go for a ride today. It's going to be 89 degrees here, I believe in the whole area. But we've been contemplating going to Philadelphia, Mississippi to go over there and buy that good bacon. Oh, well, thank you, Rod. I appreciate your support. I'm not monetized, and I don't intend to ever be. I'm not in it for no money here. I'm in it for being a part of a community. And look how many years I spent over there on the radio, 47 years. And, just talking. Yeah, I'm overdue for oil change now. excuse me. I need to I need to just take the time and go over there and get the oil changed. Does anybody know what it costs to change the oil in a Harley and a Tri-Glide? If you don't, I can tell you how much it is in my neighborhood. If I ride 44 miles over to the Harley shop, good morning. Dave, I was on the duct tape community last night for about 8 seconds. Then the power went off and we lost everything. I sat here till 20 after 9, redoing it. When the power come back on, I had to go through and redo everything. I'm not whining. I'm not complaining. That's the price you pay when you live in the woods. A tree will fall over the line. There goes your power. we stay we stay without water out here sometimes as much as 4 days. They'll break the line somewhere, and we'll have no water. But we drink bottled water. But you can't run the dishwasher and flush in the toilet and all that kind of stuff. Dave's guess is $125. The price at my Harley shop is a lot cheaper than if I go down to Hoover. It's 350 US dollars. That's for all 3 plugs. 350 US dollars. Well, I first of all, on my deal it said 7 o'clock, and I had my reminder turned on, but they went on at 6 o'clock their time. See, he's talking about once again Virginia time, and I was waiting till the 7 o'clock time. So when I turned mine on, there were so many people there. I went, well, why? But then that's twice I got that I got involved in that time differential thing. When Ray come over to visit me, Ray came over on his time, and I went up there to see him on my time. and that sort of conflicted by an hour. Oh no, I've got a pad down there, and we've changed the oil. I've got a concrete pad out there under the carport, and I can get out here and run it for a while and bring it back in and put my jack under there and just drain. I can get under there and drain it and do it. But Dave, I have a hard time getting up and down. I've got 84-year-old hips that don't like to work really good. And I try real hard to, hey, riding on Ruby. Well, good morning, buddy. It is good seeing you. Yeah, we got, don't forget, we got Rod, a friend of mine, Rod Drummond. He's in here. If you look up there, Rod is one of my ham radio friends. That he comes over and listens to the or watch the broadcast, and he's in here too. He's about 20 something miles to the west of me, maybe close to 30 miles to the west of me. I last time I last time I went over there and had the oil changed, I didn't have any money on me. I had the credit card or debit card, and when he takes cash, it's 350. But then in other words, and then I had a something else I put on there, come to $395. I said, well, okay. So I give him my card. His son was running the cash register, and he got my card and he put it in there. And his reader, when he shoved it into the reader, it did all the logging in and everything on my card, but then his printer, it's connected to the printer, and it wouldn't send a receipt. So he just wiped the card off real good, thinking it's my card, and he shoved it back in there. And the next day I go over there to check my account, and it was almost $800 came off my card. So I called him, and they figured out what happened. Oh, it was immediately taken care of. I mean, you know what? When they make a mistake at the bank, it might take 2 or 3 weeks for them to correct it, and they did. Sound like I'm whining today for some reason, but I don't mean to be. Life is too good. Look what a blessing we have. We have air in our lungs, plenty of food to eat. We just went yesterday and spent almost $400 on groceries yesterday. But we're crazy. We bought $50 worth of candy. $50 worth of candy. I ate 2 pieces last night. Well, we haven't had kids in the community for a long time, but the boy next door now's got 4 kids. And when they was little kids, Ruth always put out the candy. They were like 6 or 8 of them, and they'd come by here all with their costumes on, and she'd be putting out the candy. Well, Ruth and Angelique said, I want to put out the candy this year. See, last year we didn't put no candy out because we were in a state of disarray. But now life is better. Everything's good. So we're going to be passing out the candy. Well, we got a pile of candy. She put it in this container, because when kids can reach in and grab whatever they want. and like a barrel. She got it. We filled that thing up. Well, you say well, $50 worth of candy. That ain't a whole lot of candy, but we bought them little party size little Snickers and Reese's cup, peanut butter cups, and my favorites. I only bought my favorites. I mean, remove my hands, see if I'm still working. Yep, yep, I'm still working. I'm live. No, oh, everything's good. Well, Dave, let me see. It's over in the evening for you already. You gonna? No, that's an hour. Yeah, that's one thing about it. Yeah, that'd be a nice. Now Ruth had a pumpkin, but we threw everything out. We took and tried to kind of cut back on the memories there, and we don't have the pumpkin. It was a big old open top pumpkin, and they'd reached her hand in there. Oh, I bought Ruth when I was up in Pennsylvania or somewhere up there. I bought her a big witch. It was a stuff that had stuff in his legs and had big feet on, shoes on, and that big old black hat. And we got a rocker on the front porch, and she'd set that witch in the rocker at Halloween. And I had a skeleton. I shot and killed a skeleton. you know, I've got a video. It's in my videos here on YouTube. I took it out there and I put one bullet right above his eye, and the second bullet went right between his eyes, his little skull. He rode with me. Welcome back, Brown Chicken. You didn't go anywhere. You was something you had to do there, so uh, I was just sitting here just telling the stories. Yeah, Dave, you mentioned yesterday that getting 100 people to your live event, 100 views. I think it went up to 125 or whatever. I was really as surprised as you. I usually see numbers like 45, um, but when you see over 100, you go, "Wow, that was a really nice." Well, it's American flag that drawed people. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. I've got a little safeguard set up this morning. I've got my phone in my hand, and because sometimes I don't look over there. Over there is where the modem is, and if the modem goes dead, yeah. Yesterday I saw on the screen it said you're froze up. I said no, I ain't, because I was seeing it live on the screen, and I went over and looked at the phone, and hell, I was sitting there. I think Motorbomb took me out of the so people wouldn't be seeing that. Good morning, two before. I wished I had coffee. You know her to get me. She's already mentioned that she's getting sick and tired of having to get up and go do that, go get that coffee. But she said you already have a coffee pot in here, and you need a fry daddy in here, and you need a refrigerator. She said you could put one of them little refrigerators under your desk, and you could put the fry daddy over there. She's done laying it out. And I guess I could get me A catheter, just plug it in, just plug the catheter in, insert the catheter. I wouldn't even have to go to the bathroom or nothing. I could just sit here and 24 hours live. Maybe before she goes to bed, she'll put a hood over me or something. I don't know. Yeah, let me tell you, my brother and I, we got a job in Livingston, California at this dairy. It was a Foremost Milk Company dairy. Well, they had Foremost was contracted to buy all the milk, and they did 1,500 gallons of milk every day. We milk 1,500 gallons of milk, generally ever milking. So the truck would come out, and you got this great big stainless tank that you've been holding your milk in. And man, what a job! Okay, so my job was to bring the cows in to the parlor, and you've got the stanchions. You bring them in, and they go down through there and stick their head through there, and then I pull the lever, and they don't pinch their heads, but it holds their head in place. And then over on the other line, I'll bring in the cows on the other line, and I'll start washing their bags and prepping them. So when he's finished milking over here, he's got these milking machines, and my job is to swing the boom over and get these cows all ready for him, and he'll go over the guy that actually does the milking. He gets paid a lot more money than me. Now, my brother's job was to bring the cows in and put them in the holding pen. So he'd have to go out there and bring the cows in and get them in the holding pen. And sometimes during the rainy season, they would be dragging their bellies through the mud. They'd have to go through a mud bog to get there. Oh my God, the work you had to do to clean them up. And then we had young heifers that would come in. They had just first time they'd ever been bred, and they just had a calf, and you have to strip the milk out. It's not allowed to go into the tank. And so my job was to strip the heifers, and then the milk would be gathered up, and they had hogs and young calves, and some of the milk went to the hogs, and the others we had to feed. The calves had a bucket that had a nipple on it. And but anyhow, in our living quarters, we had a square building for our living quarters. When you walked into the door, straight back was the kitchen area or the stove and all that stuff. Over to the left was the shower and the bathroom over in the left-hand corner. Down here was our bunk beds. Over. And here was a place to put our boots and a place to hang our clothes. That room was probably 12 by 12, one square room, 12 by 12, concrete cinder block house. And God almighty, life was good. You would cook right here, and you would eat right here, and you'd do your pooping and shower and peeing right there, within that 12-foot confinement. But when you'd come in, generally, you had another shift. You have two shifts. You got to work the morning shift and the night shift in the dairy. And we'd get over and crawl over and get in our beds after we had our food and everything. Hey, Rod, come on back, buddy. 7-3, my friend. Thank you very much for coming and visiting old Mac. And old N4DIR says 7-3, my friend. For those that are not familiar with ham radio talk, when you're on a Morse code key, you send 7-3. When you're sending Morse code, you would say 7-3. That means with regards and or goodbye. You always put it on the end of your transmission. Well, over the years, it evolved. Ham operators always, hey, I'll catch you later, maybe this afternoon, 7-3. That's the last word spoken. 7-3 is the end of the conversation. And there's a lot of old tradition that we've had with the ham radio, and really it was a good, enjoyable life. Rod is a coal miner. Everybody over there is coal mining people. He's very much like my daddy. My daddy was a coal miner. He did, he hard work, and he's had to pay the price for being in the mines all them years for being a miner. I've got a good friend. His name is Jimmy. Jimmy, I'll just say Jimmy. Jimmy Deal is his name. Like, what's the big deal? Super nice guy. He come and got me out of the hospital when I was, can't get out of the old traditions for sure. Jimmy was a mining engineer. And he, oh my gosh, over the years and years of being in the mines, when there was a fire, Jimmy had to go into the fire inside the mines. He had to put his suit on, and when there was an explosion, Jimmy had to go down and pull the bodies out. When there was a flood, he'd have to go down there and get the bodies out. When he was laying out new head-ends in the mines, he would have to plot it out and everything and send the machines. You have this wall machine it's got things that turn and it digs the coal, and you got hydraulic jacks holding the roof up. That's deep, real in the mines mining, not strip mining. All the strip mines now have all the land is healed, or they have tore up the land to get the coal. I love my coal mining days. I mean, it was a period of time that's the only thing we knew. That's the only thing we knew was coal mining. Every little kid, you you go to school and you see a bunch of people gathered up over there, school kids. You go over there and they're consoling this young man. His father just was killed in the mines. Uh, Go in there, rock fell, broke his back. There was always those kind of stories. I didn't enjoy that part at all, but we were one family, the coal mining people. See, we were different. We were different than the rest of the people. We knew this. Um, they were some extremely intelligent people that was coal miners, but they never got to exercise any mental capacity because their mind was all focused on coal. And because when I was a little boy going to school in Pinckney City, who would have ever known that I would end up in a manufacturing company like the Boeing Aircraft Company and doing wonderful things I got to do for the world. And when I came back home, I went to a Pinckney City school reunion, and there was two girls I loved dearly through the 5 years I went to school. The one of the girls, I named my daughter after her. Her name was Donna Marie Adams. I was so much in love with her. 5 years. I gotta say that she was really pretty. My God, after 70 something years, she is still a good looking woman. She was did she have some breasts on her? Oh, they were nice. But she was the one that put the whole thing on, and we got to meet, and I got to sign the guest book and everything. And Then she conveys to me that she retired 35 years with United Airlines. I went, oh my God, who would have thought a little country school in Jefferson County, Alabama, in a little tiny town that don't even exist now, would produce two children, the two grown as adults, working in aviation. And both of us retired in aviation. Oh, what? And her husband was an airline, he was a pilot, and he flew our product. He flew them in war. He was a military guy, and he flew our planes in the war. Coal mining people a little bit leery about outside people. Well, that's just like your pulpwood workers. You got the people that work the wood. They're different too. Their thoughts, their beliefs, they have one thing in common: is hard labor. And yeah, that's what we had here in Alabama, coal. And then let's go over to the agricultural side. When you get past Birmingham, you've got nothing but flat lands going down through there. And oh my God, they grew cotton. They grew so much cotton. And the farming people are a different tribe altogether. Once again, some potential extremely intelligent people that was born into a life of heavy labor, farm life, with no thanks whatsoever. Like I mentioned, riding with Ruby, people never thank the bus driver for what he does for the kids. When you go buy your vegetables, you picking out the nice vegetables. The nice is not you, especially if you go to the farmer's market and you're picking all those people and that tribe of people that farm, the labor they put into it. And when you have a failed crop, like we had a few years ago, we had a drought, and all of hang on. Got to wait for the train to get out of here. Anyhow, yeah, the farming side. Oh, that's almost what backbreaking work. Sun up to sundown to get those perfect tomatoes, the green beans, all that wonderful corn, all the stuff they grow here in the sunshine where we have so much sunshine. Oh, we grow sweet potatoes here. I don't know if you're a sweet potato eater, Ray, or two before, or brown chicken, or riding with Ruby, and everybody that's in here. Alabama grows some good sweet potatoes. Oh, watermelons. Hell, we're the kings of growing watermelons. When we was on the farm, we growed so many watermelons, big Belgian Congo melons, the kind that you could just bust open and eat the hearts out. Oh my God, they were so sweet, sweet as honey. I loved it when the watermelons got cantaloupes, a lot of cantaloupes. We grew all that stuff, and it was a good laugh, hard labor. Now that I'm 84, the hardest labor I do is getting up out of my chair. I've got a chair in there in the living room that I bought for Ruth, and it's all electric, and she could push a button and it would stand her up right. It's all leather too. It's really a nice chair. I bought it for her up there in Coleman, but it has a controller that's removable. She can move the controller. the thing would just articulate. Oh, and get in so many. She could lay it all the way down flat. And she lived in that chair for 5 years. Anyhow, I hope she wakes up and starts moving around. Sweet potato. I'm gonna tell you, Dave. My mama, she would make what she called candied yams, and my family would go crazy over her candied yams. I was never too keen on them, but I eat a lot of them. Hey, Miss EB. Well, good morning to you, and all the fellows here in the little chat we're having this morning. I'll give them opportunity to give you a big wave, big hug for Miss EB. Oh, you're on live. Well, guys, go over and make sure you go over and pay a little visit to EB on her live network. I love it when you're cooking. I love it. I like it when even when you leave these still cameras and you can see your kitchen and the pots and pans, or looking out the skyscraper window. Oh, good, Ruby. That's good. Oh, I can do this. And let me come to Miss EB. I can do this on my phone, and I can be here live and go and see Miss EB. Well, first of all, Miss EB, let me give you the moderator. There we go. You got a little monkey wrench. I didn't recognize you because you're on the screen way over there, and then I looked down at my phone. I went, oh my gosh. Oh, let me see if I can go over to your page. Uh, let me let me see how can I get over there. Miss EB, could you put your URL right here so I can touch it and go over there, or is that legal? I can go over there from my phone here and still do broadcast live. Woohoo! I'm looking at Miss EB. Oh man, there. All right, I did it. She'd be dancing. I got the sound turned off. Let me see. Thank you, Dave. I'm on her. She's wearing pink, got her pink hat on. She, man, Wouldn't it be nice to have her just to come to visit? Just come over, come to your, come and visit you, and take her up to the Golden Corral. Oh, I'd take her to my favorite Chinese restaurant, the one I've lived many years. The one I took Ray Gregory to. Um, that's my favorite Chinese restaurant. Oh, buddy, here we go. We're almost back. All right. That was good. Thank you very much, Dave, for the link here. And no, I I I'm older, so it takes me a little while to figure stuff out. If I hold down on her name on the phone, it pops up there, and I can go to her channel just by touching her name over there. So it dawned on me, oh, see, because usually that's how I touch it, and it drops down where you can add a moderator. But I thought, oh, let me see what else. I touched it, and there it was. Go to channel. So I went straight to her channel, and I got to say hello to her before she signed off. Uh, well, we're going to have a beautiful day today. It's going to be almost 90 degrees Fahrenheit. Here, there we go. I'm sending love right up there. I'm sending love to Miss EB and 100 there. And a happy face, because you made me happy coming over to my channel. I don't know how to put those little hearts in there, but 46 degrees. Ooh. Look here. I'm sitting here barefooted. uh, I'm sitting here barefooted. It's it's nice in here this morning. I see my little dog is laying on the bed over there. He wanted to go to bed with me last night. He followed me. I think he's getting off his age. He doesn't like to be alone. He steps real close to me, and I think he's worried about the end coming. Or maybe it's me. Goodbye. Well, Dave, are you going to? Oh, are you going to do a night ride down to Fremantle today, tonight, or have you pretty well got? Oh, you can't. Oh, my apologies, Dave. I forgot about the hand. Yeah, you got to let that skin graft, because you could probably get on there, and first thing you gripped onto that throttle, it would ruin the skin graft. And no, you don't want to do none of that. You've already went through enough pain and misery with that thing, and without taking a chance hurting yourself, ruining what they've done. Oh, that's when I bent the little plates in my leg here. When they put the screws up through the bottom of my heel, they went up through the bottom up in there, and they put me on a no weight limit. In other words, I couldn't wasn't supposed to pick up nothing. But Wednesday, you get to ride again, Dave? Well, I'm happy for you, buddy, because when you're a rider and you got those two beauties sitting out there, what a great feeling What a great feeling, Ray, when you put your leg over and you're sitting in the saddle and you got your feet on the ground and you hit the button over and it purrs to life. And the big thumper. Oh, by the way, did you see? I think I know you was on last night when Jim Reynolds came on. Jim bought him a Tri-Glide, and it's beautiful. I don't know what he's going to call it, the Black Maria or Black Sabbath. You know, you gotta have a name for your bike, and his Tri-Glide is black and it's beautiful. I think he's got he may have the Milwaukee, that may be the Milwaukee engine. Yeah, 2017, um, which is just over the top when it comes to quality, as you know. And yeah, I saw his black. He's going to be riding today. He's going to take the little lady. I, I tell you, people will say uh, they have a negative connotation to a Tri-Glide. Well, it ain't a real bike. Well, no. Um, but for those that love riding and you want to take your woman with you, you can ride her on the back of your. Yeah. But if you're getting where you're getting some little bit of mileage on you, where the calves of your legs are not as strong, or you just don't. Your wife doesn't like the idea of sitting on the back of a two-wheeler. When Angelique is back there in the back seat, she goes to sleep in the back seat. She leans her head forward. I can see her arm. I know when we have our communication, I'll wake her up. I'll say something, or I'll turn the music up real loud, and she go, "What?" I go, "You're asleep." No, I ain't. That's how comfortable they are, and that's how reassuring you feel solid. And I'm gonna tell you, I can go into the curves real good. It's got a good balance system. You can slide in and around the curves. Sure, you got to work a little bit, but the new ones have got power steering. I don't have power steering, but I'm strong in my arms. Um, and they're not when you're riding up a bunch of bikes, you got guys that's got crotch rockets and speed. But when you're riding a bunch, you're not trying to outrun somebody. It ain't a contest. You're out there for the cruise, for whatever event you're doing. And so you don't have to be competitive. And the track is no slouch. They will run. Mine runs, and it runs good. But nobody wants to drive that fast. I'm on there. I'm doing this, and doing that. I'm looking. I'm watching stuff because usually I'm making a video, and I want people to see what I'm seeing. And you certainly can't do it when you're driving really fast in a blur going around the curves. And that's for the youngsters. Let them do that stuff. But a trike is not a put down. And I try to tell people that, get a trike so you can haul your girlfriend or that girl you meet on the beach. Hey, can I ride on your Harley? Oh, hell yeah, you can. What's your sign, baby? I never did use that line. What's your sign? What's your sign? Uh, I never used a line of bullshit to start with. I tell you the truth. Here's the way I look at it. When you're single and you're out, there's going to be somebody that's going to pay you a little attention, and you know if you're going to hit it off or not. You don't need no gimmicks. You just got to have the desire to love. Yeah, we're going to at 10 o'clock. We're going to head out of here. I started this live around 6:30, but I'll end it somewhere after 9. I've still got a couple hours to go yet, but we're going to head out at 10 o'clock. And we got several locations we want to go. And we haven't made up our mind yet about which direction we're going to go in. We've talked about going down to the coast, and right now would be a good time to go because there's some tropical stuff down there around Cancun and that far down, but it hasn't formed into anything. And you'd have a few days. This coming week is gonna be that pattern may form together and it may form a hurricane or just a tropical depression. Oh, buddy, I tell you, uh, I find that bike riders tend to call on God a lot. They tend to let God navigate them. You find yourself when you just almost got hit by that person coming out of the side road, you say thank you God, or you'd say something like thank God. Um, yeah, we're never too far from God when you're riding. I think the whole riding thing is a religious experience because you're always thanking God for the beauty He's given you to see. He thanks you thanking God for the eyes He allowed you to see the beauty He created. That's that. I talked about pure form of love, pure love. What love He must have had to send His Son to bring you everlasting peace, knowing He sent His Son to be crucified. It was sort of like an olive branch. He destroyed the world by flooding it. And as a symbolic olive leaf, He sent His Son, His only begotten Son, to bring you that olive branch of peace. And ever since He's came, we have been in war because you remember that movie where I think it was Al Pacino, you can't handle the truth. Well, we can't handle peace. Our disposition is that of war. We fight amongst the other tribes, and it's been going on forever. But they'll use the Bible as a reason for the battle. And His own Son came to bring us peace. You remember on the cross, He was the Prince of Peace. And we've never really was pure Christian in our beliefs because it don't take long. We get angry, get mad at almost any reason. And somehow, if you could just think about the agony of Christ. Oh, if you could, oh man, oh, Dave, you've got such a good memory. I mean, your memory is really good. Mine is failing. It's not as good as it should be. Um, and you got to face that reality. But your mind is good. You're really sharp. You can all those. I can sing. I can just give you some words in a song, and you can tell me what group or what album or what record that was. I used to be that way. I used to have the ANSI code book memorized. ANSI is a book that we work on that gives us all the military standards for your hardware and stuff. And there was an old guy that taught me. Oh, look at that little woman. Come here, little baby girl. Come over here. Hang on. Let me lay my phone over here. Come on. Come here. Come right here. I know you don't like to be in the camera. Come over here. Come right here, baby. Just sit right here for a minute. Let everybody see what you look like when you first wake up. There's my little baby girl right there. Hey, sweetheart.
Hi.
You love me today? Are you going to love me tomorrow? Have you made up your mind where we're going to go today?
No.
You got to say hello to Angelique.
Talk, old man. It's your show.
Huh?
Talk, it's your show.
I'm taking a sip of coffee here, folks. Stand by. Oh, it's got Bailey's in it.
No, it doesn't.
Huh?
No, it doesn't.
Oh no. Oh, I know what I'm tasting. It's vanilla, French vanilla.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hello, Flip Elliott. Well, have you made up your mind what we're going to do?
No.
Oh, where we're going to go?
Well, I need to get better from this cold.
Oh, you sick this morning?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Tell them people how sick you are. Just look right at that little dot right here.
Well, not terribly sick. I'm just got a fever and a stuffed up nose.
Fever. Whoa, 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 fever. She got a little cough. I believe she's got a case of boogalitis. I don't know where you caught a cold.
Don't ask me.
Oh, well, thank you, honey. I appreciate you. You're going to do the egg McMuffin today?
Do you want me to fix it now, or do you want to wait?
No, I don't want to do it until 9 o'clock.
Okay.
I'll eat breakfast off screen. I won't eat breakfast.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure about the time.
Advil and Mucinex.
I don't like anything going up.
Yesterday when she had a fever, she was pretty hot. I gave her 2 aspirins, and I have a pill when I'm really hurting really bad. It's a really good pain. It's not a coat. What's it called?
It's a muscle relaxer.
It's a relaxer. Yeah, it's for my neuropathy. And she took 2 aspirins and one of my pills. And she went in there and got in front of the TV. Next thing, the light. How long was you gone?
A couple hours.
She slept for 2 hours. It was just in another world. That was really good when you woke up and felt good, didn't you?
Yeah, but now I don't feel good again.
Well, before you give me the boogalitis, come over, give me a little hug, and head on out of here.
Okay, I'll go find some Saturday morning cartoons or Sunday morning cartoons.
All right. Well, say bye. Oh, you got to say bye to the gang.
Bye, gang.
Yeah, look at the little hole right there.
I was looking right there, so you see.
She's out of here. Get on out of here, damn heifer.
Just for that snotty little remark, I'm gonna eat all the Reese's.
Huh?
Just for that snotty little remark, I'm gonna eat all your Reese's.
Oh, hell.
I've already started.
She's been eating her Reese's candy bar. What?
Beware the wrath of the Reese eater.
She done threatened me that she's going to eat all of the Reese's candy bar, which she knows I really like. And she likes almond joy, so I bought her a big bag, made sure that when she was putting the candy out there, that she'd have some of them almond joys. Well, hello, Angelique. She's not feeling well today. I hope she gets better before we head out. And if she don't feel good, we won't go. I just wanted to ride today because of the nice weather, and it's going to turn bad next week. I mean, it's going to drop way down in temperature. Yeah, we've got all of we're up to date on our shots. I haven't been sick in years, so chances are it's going to be my turn. I told you guys. Let me tell you. I woke up over there with 104-degree fever, and I had a show I was going to up in Huntsville. I'd been invited by this Huntsville riding group, and oh my God. Well, I've heard that too. Other people have done the same thing. They was up to date on their vaccine and still got the COVID. Well, I woke up over there 104-degree fever, and I did not want to miss that show up in Huntsville. So I got myself ready, crawled on my bike, and I was just not feeling very well at all. But once that motor started, I felt a little better. And then when I got off the county road and got over on the state road, I run her up in some speed, and it was feeling really refreshed. And so when I got over on the freeway, I-65 North, I turned the wick up, and I was cruising along at a good cruising speed. And I began to feel so good and felt like I was cool all over. And I began to feel this coolness. I went, wow, I've never experienced this kind of coolness before. And somehow I felt like my lower extremities were cold. So I just put my hand, I thought maybe, oh, hell. When I put my hand over there, my hand went directly to my belly. My T-shirt had got under the wind. The wind had pushed my T-shirt up around under my beard. It was up here. And my big ass old belly. I looked down there. Oh hell, it was shining. I'm cruising, and I went, oh shit. And so I pulled it down and tucked it back down in my britches there. Hello, American Outlaw. We're just sitting here kibitzing with some good friends over a cup of coffee. American Outlaw, I've got you tagged so that if you do put on your second video when you go out riding again, or whenever you do, when you go back into turn your live on, I want to see it, because once you go live, you can't go back. I tell you the strangest thing, when I met the Desert Outlaw, American Outlaw had already pretty well described himself. I know he's military. I know he's going to be beat up. I know he's going to be a big guy, or I had it in my mind he'd be a big guy. And when we saw him, he was about what I had pictured in my head. But when the Desert Outlaw, first time I saw him, I went, "Oh my God, that's the Desert Outlaw." I was expecting, like one of them wind-blown guys from Arizona, deep crevices in his face from all the wind and the burning sun. No, he just barely old enough to shave. uh, Desert puppy. Yeah. Oh, hell yeah. He's a good-looking guy, young guy. I told you, he's got everything all of us used to have. He's somebody said, not somebody, I think I asked, I said, he's got something all of us would love to have. And most everybody said, youth. Got his whole life ahead of him. Yeah, you're really you got your family, and you you've already got your military stuff behind you, and you got the freedom of making choices now about what you want to do, and you and your woman and your family. And if you want to go out and pull the reach today on your bike, you can do so. If today you don't feel well, you don't have to. You don't have to do no formation stuff. You don't have to do any of the military things. Boys, I tell you a little story. The rodeo, the National Cowboy Association, they come to Pendleton, Oregon every year. It's a huge event. I mean, tens of thousands of cowboys from all over the United States come to Pendleton, Oregon. There's some Aussies that comes to Pendleton, Oregon. There's if you're in the rodeo, you come to Pendleton, Oregon. Well, we went to Pendleton, Oregon. That was back when I was riding a chopper. Um, but we wasn't in a chopper because it was uh, the weather, something about the weather. I don't remember if it was really hot or whatever. I remember being in the car anyhow. At that time I had a DeSoto car, and so this girl over there at Pendleton, Oregon, after we got started talking, she asked if we was going back to Pasco. We told them, yeah. She said, could I catch a ride of you boys back up to Pasco? And so when the rodeo was finished for the evening, we take off, and we didn't get very far, and we stopped at a bar and we visited that bar, and then now we're back into Washington State. We've already made about 3 other bars. And she was sitting in the middle, and my DeSoto had a big bench seat, and it was called a DeSoto Adventure. Had a Hemi engine in it. And was it Adventure? It was a DeSoto. It was one of the nice DeSotos. And she was sitting in the middle seat there. And my buddy Tony was a cowboy. My buddy Tony rode the horses. he liked the bucking Broncos and stuff like that. Tony and we met on the ranch in the Triangle T Ranch in California. And Tony, he rode with me up to Washington State. And Tony was my best buddy. But she was locking both of us. And we discussed which one of us should have her. Now, she didn't have much choice in it because she loved both of us. But we had to decide, and we're drunk now. You got to keep in mind now, we're out there in the desert. And so we decided we'd fight over the girl. And so she was sitting there in the middle. We jumped out of the car. We come around the front of the car, and Tony was going to knock me out in a single blow. Tony's fist come around, and he hit the hood ornament on the car. That DeSoto had a big hood ornament back in those days. Oh, every bone in that hand crunched. Boom. Oh, my God. Then we end up going to Franklin County Hospital for his broken hand. Oh, his hand swelled up. That little woman, that little girl, she stayed with me for 2 years. She went everywhere with me. I was a truck driver. She went everywhere. And after she got tired of the road, after a couple of years, I dropped her off in a little town that she wanted to go to that little town. I never saw her again. What memories of your youth, But me and Tony fighting over a woman. Well, that's going to happen. That's why we are. We're built that way. The survival of the fittest. I was pretty stout when I was young. Oh, heated grips. Yeah, we've had them before. I had a heated suit, complete riding suit. And it wasn't just a liner vest. This thing was a complete riding suit. And I would ride over there in Eastern Washington when it'd be 15, 18 degrees, very cold. And I'd turn that thing up, and I wore a Bell helmet. And yeah, I would turn that old heater, it had an adjustment there, and I'd be nice and toasty inside there. 27 degrees Fahrenheit in Bismarck, North Dakota. You don't have to worry about your meat going bad there, and you just lay it out on the front porch. If the hound dog don't get it, it'll be fresh tomorrow. Yeah, they got those good insulated gloves too that plug right into your suit. When you put them on, you slip the plug there, and you got warm hands, and they're not really bulky. I've had those fur-lined gloves, and they work all right, but it's just hard to beat that surging power going through that suit. And if you keep that chest warm in your back, when you're riding, if you got that heat strip that goes down to your back, that is nice. I mean, if you keep that back spine warm, but if you're lucky enough, you're going to have a young woman riding back there. She'll keep that back warm. That's the way it should be. It can be your beautiful wife back there, or your girlfriend, girlfriend. You ain't nothing but a hound dog. Oh, there's some jokes. Oh, that's one thing I miss about my group up in Washington, up in engineering. They knew all the good jokes. I mean, they they um, they had such good. I'd go down on the floor. They would call me up. They'd say, "Hey, we have an issue with our black and white, or that's what we call blueprints, black and whites." And so we'd have to go down and interpret the black and white for them on an issue, you know. And I get down there, and next thing you know, we'd get into a joke telling session. Dave, my friend, God bless you for just all the stuff that you do, your artwork. You express God's love through your art. Your love for God is in your artwork because He gave you that ability to put it together on canvas. You and God are one when you're creating an object of beauty. God bless you, my friend. Have just a good evening and lots of rest. Let that hand heal up. Oh, I love that, Flip. I love that. The heated gloves is a lot better than a woman on your back. That's from the heart. When you when you're deep inside your mind with your guitar and your fingers are moving on the strings, God is talking to you through your fingers. I can hear God from your music. Think about it. Robert Tired Deacons, and you're one of my main generals, man. You watch and see now that Dave's come and he leaves, the crowd starts leaving. The show's over. Dang, dang. Uh, I think about American Outlaw when he's out there working. Here's a guy that's had his brain scrambled up, and he did it for that flag right there, that one right there, for the American people, for the people. He was a soldier, and he can feel God when he's working because he's still here. He's not like the many that have paid the ultimate sacrifice. He's still here and he's finding love of that piece of iron, those chunks, those pieces of our. He's assembling it. Now it's a rolling chassis. Oh yeah. There's so many ways to see God. You just gotta look. wish I need to put on my screen. I've got how many people. I think I can get an app that will give me my outside temperature, at least the temperature nearest me from a station on my screen. So when I'm talking, I can tell people what my temperature is. No, that really, like when we're, say in January, and we're sitting here at 56 degrees Fahrenheit in January, and you're talking to your buddy in Minot or Fargo or Bismarck or somewhere in Minnesota, and he's 14 minus 14 degrees. Oh, you go. It's hard to be cheerful when a guy is sitting there freezing. Oh, we've seen the wonder of God, and you American outlaw, and those like all those that have children, they've seen birth. You've held a little creature in your hand. Just like when God sent Jesus, the Creator gave you a baby to hold in your hands. And such love you had for that child. I was blessed with a lot of children. Oh my God. So many. Well, my little dog ain't making no sign he wants to get down off the bed, so he can stay in one spot. I mean, that dog is amazing. 27, 29 years of age, two before. They're young men. They, you know, go forth and multiply. You've done your part. Do they live two before? Are they close by? Do you get to see your sons often, or are they all living in different parts of the world like most of my kids live somewhere else? I yesterday when I was out shopping, I normally only get cream for my coffee, but I've been having a little bit of an urge to have sweet coffee, and I never have been one for putting sugar in my coffee, but she bought me. Okay. Whoa, way over in Alberta. Man, your country is big, and it's really diverse. I mean, if you start out on the east, you got people on the east side of Canada, And you start going across, and you got different provinces that always have something. Like when you get over Alberta and Saskatchewan and all over there, you get into the farming country, and man, it just the rolling fields of wheat and stuff. It's beautiful up there. Your country, you're so blessed to have such a beautiful country. I lived on the west side, and we went all over the Canada. We used to fly up to Williams Lake, Lake Tasunia, in a Piper Cherokee, and we used to fly up there, and on a dirt runway, would come in and land on a dirt runway, and it was at the end of the runway there was a 350-foot drop off down to a gorge. So they would put a line of lime across the end of across what they call the rotation area. And we'd take off, and we'd have not only us in there, all of our fishing gear, and we'd have like 300 pounds of fish on the all processed and packaged on the airplane and the cargo, and we would go be rolling down through there, and you go across that line. I'm sitting there, the pilot sitting right there. He's a doctor. The doctor owns the airplane, and we go across that rotation line, and I look over, and we're only doing like 45 knots. The next thing you know, we're at the end of the runway, and the aircraft's got the stall kit on it. It's got all the everything. The wing is all stretched out. And when we drop over the edge, that the big lift you get from that stall kit, and he'd pull up, and you look back there. Way back there behind me was a couple of little windows in the back where you could see the tail. I look over my shoulder, and I could see that deep gorge that we just pulled up out of there. And then we had to fly up to the limit of the aircraft to get out of there. We had to go to 13,000 feet. The only way we had to go across, there was a gap at 13,000 feet we had to cross. And we went on to the Fraser Glacier. It's a huge ice flow that goes for many, many, many miles. And every time we go in and come out, we always had to make a landing approach on the ice. We never landed on the ice. You had to make an approach. And that was part of the Canadian law on bush planes. He was licensed as a bush pilot. And you have to make so many attempted lands on the glacier in case you had to go and rescue somebody, and or if you had to save yourself you had to get down on the ground quick. Yeah, British Columbia, every relative that ever flew up to see me in Washington, we would take off and we'd drive up to Seattle, and we'd hop on a ferry, and we'd cruise up to Victoria, the island of Victoria, and we'd stay up on Victoria. And after we got through staying on Victoria, we'd get on another ferry and go through the Swassen Cut and go into Vancouver. And then once we got into Vancouver, we'd go across the border down on I-5 and go back home. And that ferry boat that they have up in Canada is very big too, but it's shaped kind of like a ship, and the nose of it opens up, where the ferry boats got a cabin on the front and a cabin on the back, and they can go either direction. They look the same going or coming. They can run from either. They got propellers on the front. It's something else. But we like to go in through the Swassen Cut. It's a really narrow channel of water that the water moves really fast. And boy, they'd turn the power up to power the way through the Swassen Cut. and there'd be sailboats out there just flying by because they'd be riding that wind wave through that cut, and they'd be all at an angle slicing through the cut. It was beautiful. Victoria is a beautiful island. Vancouver is a beautiful city. It's a really advanced city. Has a lot of Western tradition. You know, you got um, kind of like being out in the West because it is on the West Coast, but it's like being in the old Western days. You know, you have some hardy people. My wife was a skier and she liked to go up. I believe it's called Whistler. She used to go up and ski in Canada. You have to, I think it's about 100 miles up there. And once you get into Canada, about another 100 miles up there where they ski. Oh, man. I'll tell you what I like to do. Uh, too before I'd like to get on the Trans-Canadian the train and do a train trip. You know, where they got sleeper cars and all that stuff. I really would like to do that. Oh, it looks so beautiful. They got a run here in America that takes you up through the Rockies and stuff. You leave out of Washington D.C. and you head west, and you eventually get into Chicago, and then you start getting up in the northern tier states, and you follow along up towards Highway 2, US 2, across America. US 2 goes from coast to coast. And here comes the eastbound. Oh, he's slowing down. Oh, there was a pig on the track. Oh, no. Oh, ooh. Oh, he's stopping it. They're all hopping out and grabbing a piece of that pig. There's a guy's got a whole hind quarter. Damn, thing's still kicking. That's something. Motorbomb, Virginia. It's about time you wake up. It's about time. I've got power. Yeah, I lost. We didn't get power back to 20. It was 20 minutes after 9 last night, my time. First of all, Motorbomb, your advertisement as your duct tape community will be on at 7 o'clock. And I know it should be like East Coast time or whatever y'all call it over there. I was on my time, so I was just taking my time. And so I just, I go over and set my camera up. And I went over there and there was all them people. I went, whoa. Once again, I was a victim of the clock. And yeah, I should have known better. So I finally got on, but my lights had been blinking. When I was in the bathroom, I seen the lights blinking. And then I came in here and the lights blinked here. But I looked down at my signal and I had 35 upload speed. 35 is good. YouTube says you need 5 megabytes upload speed to be steady and reliable. Well, mine was at 35. So we started out, and you said your buffeter, the little round circle came on. Well, I grabbed my phone over there. I was dead. What happened is the power, my phone is still alive because it's got its own battery. When it blinked, it turned my unit off. It won't even hardly, if it drops down a few volts, it changes that thing. I don't have it hooked up to my battery supply down here. I talked about this, but my cable, my cord, I'd have to put an extension cord on it, and I don't have a 6-footer extension cord, so I got to pick up a stick. When I get an extension cord, I'll plug it into my power supply, and then it won't go off when the power blinks. That battery thing down there, it don't. And then, man, it's a good one too. It's got a screen on it, tells me what my voltage is, 122 volts. We got power of 122 volts, which is really good. I watched you guys at 9:20. I watched the rerun. Yeah, I saw the rerun. I went over and looked at, and what everybody was doing and what they was saying, and so anyhow, I got up this morning and I checked it. 122 volts on the main line, and oh, mine does too. We live in a we live where we don't have any options to before. I don't have any cable out here. There's no telephone lines out here. We can't have spectrum. We can't have none of those things. And my buddy Joe, he lives just 4 miles from me, and he's got every option that you can have on. He's got everything. He gets mad at them. I'll just call Comcast. When he gets mad at Comcast, I'll call, you know, and within 2 minutes, he got a new connection all set up over there. And I don't live in that kind of a place. I live where they don't have any technology. I live in the woods. We didn't even know about the internet. When we came here in 97, we was very aware of the World Wide Web, but that wasn't our concern. This place was offered to us from the family, from the original people. My family and theirs owned all of this. And so my cousin says, hey, they've had a tragedy out there, and one of the kids got drowned, and the guy wants to sell his place and get a hold of this guy, which is my relative. And I ringed him up. He said, yeah, come on out. I came out and looked at the place, and it was pretty to me because I was in the woods. I'd always lived around the big city of Seattle, and I wanted to get peace and quiet. Hell, I got peace and quiet. Whoa. we don't we we don't have much out here. Ain't that the truth? Rolling with T-Bone. Good morning. Ain't that the truth? You know, I was so busy. You got to keep in mind, I had a lot of things going on. I had the farm here. I had to develop this place the way I wanted. So when I got here, I was spending all of my time with the fencing and all that stuff down through there, and so we also built onto the house things that she wanted. She wanted an east room, so the sunrise thing, and we got a west room over there. So we had both the west room and the east room built onto the house. I think there's 22 or 2,300 square feet, and we don't even use it. But just this is my little room here is 15 foot wide and 30 feet long, and that's my little This is my little cubicle here. Sometimes I'll open that door right there and I'll venture 30 feet down the hallway to the kitchen. I go down on, well, I used to refer to that as roof side of the house because that's where her cooking was and the kitchen and all that kind of stuff. I had no need for a kitchen. Up in Montana, over in Lewistown, I can only speak of Lewistown. We lived over in the plains in the middle of the state of Montana. When the snow came in November, it stayed all the way to May, from November to May. It didn't go away. It'd be up around the house, it'd be along the tree line. And then we'd have these little blizzards, snow blizzards, where the wind would blow 70 and 80 miles per hour out of the Rockies. And little tiny, fine specks of ice would be hitting you on the side of the face. And you always held your hand up like that. Oh, this this was the people I bought the house from, and this was the master bedroom because the bathroom was sitting right there. This was their master bedroom. And over there, down in the hallway, there's a bedroom over there. And go on down, there's another room before you get to the kitchen. But halfway down, you make a right hand turn, and that goes into the utility where the washer and all that stuff is. And you go through there, and you end up over there through two or three more doors. You end up over in the west room over there. This guy, when he laid out the house here, he was an electrician for Alabama Power. That's a big power utility company in Alabama. It's the biggest. And he's got in this room here, there must be 30 plugins in this room. He's got them all around. He's got them over by there's one, two, three, four, five, six. I can see over there plugins. And he's got all these breakers over there out on the outside out there. And they're all on different breakers. I like that. Let me get my phone back over here. Now I can quit reaching back and forth. Oh, I'll make you uncomfortable. Good morning. I didn't see you when you came in. My apologies. I was busy talking. if if you don't like to talk, there would be no reason to have a page, right? I love it when you guys all come together. I can see you, and you guys talk amongst yourself. That's what this is. It brings people together. Oh, let me do this. And hello, Ray Gregory. Good morning, buddy. I hope you had a good anniversary yesterday, and I hope you get to go for a ride today. Let me see if I can do this right here. And do this right here. And there you go. I'll make you uncomfortable as now got a crescent wrench, an adjustable spanner. Well, T-Bone, when are you going to come out with your next, not next chapter, your your continuation of your epic journey. $7:30. Now that's 7:30, or let's see, you're on Eastern time, so it'd be 6:30 my time. See, this time thing is killing me. I'm telling you, I missed last night a big portion of the duct tape community, and when I got on, my power went off, so I didn't get to even partake in the my. I didn't get a signal back until 20 minutes after 9 as Central. I'd be 20 after 10 y'all's time. Oh, you said Eastern Standard Time. My apologies. I see it. All right. So at 6:30 our time, I'll be looking for you. I've got it. I've got it turned on to send me a notice, a notification. But what happens to me sometimes, she'll have my phone in her purse, and I don't hear the notification alarm go off. And this thing over here, I don't have a sound set up for the computer. I don't have it set up to where it makes a noise when I get a notification. Hey man, the coffee right there, American Outlaw Coffee. Well, that little cup of coffee didn't last long. What's that say right there? Oh, look at you right here. Look, you guys. I'm doing this for Toga. We're legends, legendary Harley Davidson. How about that? I didn't even look to see what she had served, what she gave me, what cup I was having today, but there it is. Man, legends are everywhere. That's all. The coffee cup's empty. Yeah, Toga. What a neat guy. Toga is like a shadow. Only the shadow knows. You just I go traveling around on the internet, and I run across Toga over here. Toga will be up in Asia. Toga will be on with the ladies in the Philippines. Toga will be over there. Toga will be over here. You never know when the Toga is going to show up. I saw him down was sick, and all them they was having the haircutting thing to raise money. I saw him; he was live. He actually a space and everything. You see him, and that was really cool. You could see Toga. Oh, I just know now it's the difference in time. Um, but I can never know when my power's going to go off. We have a lot of power out in the evening. Uh, oh my God! I've got a I've got I got a video of me right over there this year in 2024 in front of the TV over there. With no TV on. I was cooking breakfast for me and Angelique on my Coleman butane stove right over there. I had my table set up, and I was cooking eggs and bacon and stuff over there. And I had this great big hoodie on, and it dropped down to 8 degrees. 4 days with no electricity. 4 days, and this house was just frozen solid for 4 days. I kept little old Theo over close to me, kept him wrapped up, and yeah, it was a long 4 days. When on April the 27th in 2011, ain't we all, T-Bone? Yeah, April the 27th, 2011, we had a hurricane, two come here to my house. The last one pretty well tore us up. But we didn't have no electricity for 28 days. No electricity. We cooked out on the back deck. Ruth was alive then, and I set the stove up, and she did all the cooking out there. She cooked a lot of stuff out there. I had out there a generator, a 7,000 watt generator that wouldn't start. I think it has a 13 horsepower motor on it, big motor. It wouldn't start. The battery was dead, no push button start, but it had an emergency pull rope, and I was pulling it. It'd go. Could not get it started. I hated gas. I just hated that thing. But it let it be 90 degrees, and it was one pull of the rope or one push of the button. Yeah, we had the thing all plugged up over there, all set up. Yep. I don't have a generator anymore. I sold it to my good friend in Florida, Wesley Baker. Wesley Baker, he come up here and he bought my generator. He bought a motorcycle I had. He brought his trailer up and hauled the motorcycle and the generator. And Wesley passed on this year. Him and I had a contest, see who would last longer. He was 1 year younger than me. So he passed on at 83 this year. He come to see me. He flew up here from Florida this year. And I gave him my truck, and he was up here a week, and he took my truck and he went and had like a farewell. He knew he was dying. He had pancreatic cancer, and he knew he was dying. So he did a little farewell tour of all the people he loved. And he come here, and when he finished his goodwill tour, he went back home to Florida and expired. The Beast of Bray Road. I'm looking forward to it. My buddy Wesley Baker, he was in the Air Force, and he was stationed up at Thule in Greenland. Oh, he spent a year up there. That was the longest year in his whole entire life. That 1 year in Thule. But when I was up there, I was up in the northern part. I was in Montana at that time, while he was stationed over at Greenland, so we could communicate back and forth about the cold weather. He was a ham radio operator. I have quite a few ham operators come to visit. Uh, he was trained. We have up at Thule, we had a missile base up there. We had a lot of missile systems up there, and they had to keep everything had to be kept warm. They circulated coolant through there, heated to keep the the battery of missiles warm, and so he worked all the time he was there. But yeah, that my brother-in-law Ray, he got sent up there for a year, and when his year was up, they couldn't get him out of Greenland. Um, the weather had turned real bad, so he had to stay for 15 months in Thule. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I'll make you uncomfortable. I'm sorry. Oh, I'll make you uncomfortable. I have uh, so many of my ham radio buddies. They're up there, and some of them are just hanging on, and some of them's already thrown the towel in. You know what I'm saying is that I've got a friend that rode a Harley for so many years, and that friend of mine that died just this year, this other friend sold him a Harley, and he took it down to Florida, and he did a lot of riding in Florida on that bike that my other friend had, and then when he started taking chemotherapy, he couldn't ride no longer, so he sold that Harley. And this gentleman I'm talking about was an avid rider. We used to go to these ham conventions. He'd ride his Harley up there, but he hangs out around the house now. He don't venture out much. 47. You're just a youngster. You know what? You're 7 years older than Angelique. She turns the big 4-0 next month. November the 9th, she'll be big 4-0. I'm going to rub it in every day. Yeah, we always had the idea that once you reach 40, you're over the hill. Yeah, that's right. American Outlaw's only 21, bless his heart. And has a son that's 27 and one that's 29. Oh, no, it's two before, ain't it? Yeah, two before is the one that's got the son 20. Oh, you got little children. That's right. You got them little ones. 40 years of age. Oh, I got married when I turned 40, and I got married when I turned 50. Hello, sick. Good to see you here this morning. And thank you for sharing your music with me. uh, was sick? Did you go to sleep last night under a cush blanket? One of those fine woven Pakistani cush blankets. Damn leopard. Ah, man. Yep. Who could have believed it would turn out where? Now, listen to this. I am the son of a poor, uneducated coal miner. Um, there's nothing wrong with being a coal miner. It was just the fact that he was a very poor, uneducated coal miner. And look at me, I'm sitting here using the latest in technology, chatting with people all around the world. I'm going to tell you, listen to this, T Bone. You may not, you're older guys. I know riding with Ruby, he will know. Back in 1948, there was a wonderful, it went on for many, many years after 48, but in 1948, there was a detective in New York that had a watch on his arm and he could see the chief back at the station. And he could talk to the chief. His name was Dick Tracy. What a visionary. Anybody could have envisioned being able to talk on your phone. My sister down in California, them damn phones that she can talk on. She's got text and everything. Get all that on her phone, on her watch. Um, his show was so advanced to think about that kind of technology. Dick Tracy. Knight Rider. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. Knight Rider. He had that car Kit, wasn't it? Wasn't his car called Kit? Yeah, I love that car. It was so advanced. That car saved him. Ain't it something how writers and producers can write such a series? Yeah, Kit. That's him. Um, you remember, y'all might have remembered Walker, Texas Ranger. Walker, Texas Ranger, he had this supercharged truck or whatever, a Dodge. And the gangsters, at the end of the series, they buried him underground in his truck. He was, I guess, knocked unconscious, whatever, but they buried him underground. Now he's underground now. Keep in mind, I don't know how much dirt was piled on top of him, but when he comes to next year, when the new series Walker Texas Ranger, they had a little preview showing you what was going on and how he got buried into the ground. Well, he reaches over, he goes, oh man, and he gets a key and go, the thing fired to life, and he drove that Dodge up out of that grave. That was everybody said, how's he going to get all this? He's going to die for sure. Yeah. On Star Trek, they had that little deal. They'd push it and talk. But 1948, Dick Tracy had the communicator device on his arm, and he could see the chief. He could see the chief on his arm. That's pretty advanced. People could envision You had to have quite a mind on you to be able to think of something like that in 1948. And then here we are in 2008. Everybody's got one of them. Yeah, I've had to change the battery in my smartphone, a smartwatch, my iWatch. Yeah, the smartwatch. Yeah, everybody everybody had to have one. All my kids, all my sisters, all of them, they've all got the smartwatch. Every one of them. They've got like second, third, and fourth generation smartwatches now. I wasn't ever smart enough to figure out how to use one. Your daddy was born in 48. I was 8 years old when your daddy was born. And what a wonderful time. I will tell you how wonderful 48 was. The war was over in Europe, but a lot of people didn't come home to quite a while after the war for whatever reason, because they had what they call an occupation of Japan. A lot of soldiers had to stay after the war. But by 1948, they had this Build Back America thing where they was offering GIs homes and stuff at a really low price, $900 for a home, $900, and they was all back home, and they brought all this power and might back home to America after the war. They had drag racing. They went out to the salt flats and set records. They wasn't afraid of anything. Those are the bravest people in the world. When they came back from the war, they was really brave. And drag racing was here just right around the corner. Once we rolled past the Korean thing, the Forgotten War, all of a sudden we had rock and roll. We've always had blues, and we had country, and we had classical, and then that new thing that was inspired by the devil called rock and roll. People was wiggling their hips. They was doing the twist. Come on, baby, let's do the twist. And they was doing all them dances. Oh man, I loved every one of them. Hell, I could do all of them. I could. Angelique hates it. We used to do. When we'd be dancing, we'd be moving our arms. We'd be doing the. Back in the days, before 1948, this is kind of dancing you did. You hugged a woman, you polished your belt buckle with your belly, and it was humanly the greatest embrace when you was dancing that way. But then by 53, started about 53 there, people started moving apart, and the couples would be dancing, but she was over here doing her stuff and he was over here doing his stuff. Yeah. Also, at the end of the war, at the end of the Korean War, we had a lot of loners. These guys didn't want to have a whole lot of people around them, and they would be on their motorcycle and they rode all across the country trying to get it back together. Yeah, you had a lot of loners that never did fully get incorporated back into society. Changed the whole world. Yeah, I tell you, I love Thanksgiving. It's a different atmosphere. Thanksgiving is your fall is really in bloom. Your foliage, everything is changing. Leaves sprinkling down, and you're on the verge of winter, and Thanksgiving is like the last hurrah before winter sets in. And the food was so special. The gathering of the people was so special. But in the last few years, it's got where there's so much conflict. People gather up and it end up being a big ass fight, squabbling. But ours was wonderful. We enjoyed our Thanksgiving, and we still do today. What I do, I did this last year. Ruth was already gone, and so I went to the Piggly Wiggly the day before, and I ordered my Thanksgiving dinner. I laid out everything I wanted, and I went over to Piggly Wiggly and picked it up because they're closed on Thanksgiving. But then I had the food, and I spread out the table. Me and Angelique, we had Thanksgiving. We had we had so many reasons for thanks last year, and this year we're going to do the same thing. We're going to have a good spread for Thanksgiving. We're going to try to carry on life and make it worth living. No, it's Halloween and then Thanksgiving. We've already. I told everybody last night I bought $50 worth of candy, the little party size candies, and she put it in this tub in there. So when the kids come, they can reach in there and get whatever candy they want. But she told me this morning she's already started eating the Reese's Buttercups, the Reese's peanut butter cup. Columbus Day with pay. We didn't get Columbus Day at the company. Here's what they did of us. They would, in December, we took off 14 days starting just before Christmas, and we didn't go back until like the 4th or 5th or 6th or whatever of January. And that gave the company a chance to completely change out the machinery and all that stuff. So every year for 14 days, about 87,000 of us would be off for 14 days in the Puget Sound area. And all the malls, all the restaurants, all the bars, everything would be just full because those are all paid days now. Those 14 days were off. That's all paid because we didn't get Columbus Day. We didn't get those other holidays, but they did it all in one package. So we had 14 straight paid holidays. And if you got called in and had to work, that's triple time. If you had to go and work Christmas, any days in Christmas holiday. Oh, you don't riding on Ruby. You don't celebrate any of the holidays. Well, we don't have any kids no more. There's no kids here, so there's like Christmas. We're like big kids, me and Angelique. We buy one another gifts, and I, I've got right over there behind the TV. I've got a 6 foot. No, it's bigger than that. 6 or 7 foot Christmas tree over there. It's all decorated. It's got snow on it. It's got all the lights, the LEDs all over it. I leave it behind there. And I drag it back over here beside the TV. And then at Christmas time, I put the cover under the bottom, put my Christmas tree up over there. And we celebrate just like when all the kids was here. Oh, I love Christmas. I really do. Always have. I the celebration of a birth. I celebrate the birth of my children. And I know really Christ was not born on Christmas Day. That's a date they set up for a holiday. He was probably born over in the spring, according to everything that everybody keeps record, but we don't care what date it is. If you set off a day to celebrate the birth of Christ, it's a good thing. I know a lot of people, their spirit has been dampened by the commercialization of Christmas. They were already got all the Christmas stuff out. Don't we all love the food? Oh, heck yeah. Oh, I had an aunt. When she stuffed a turkey for Thanksgiving, my daddy, we'd go up there. My aunt would invite us to go and have Thanksgiving. My mom and dad and all of us would go up there to her house. And my daddy would get so mad. She would have her her stuffing was sometimes it'd have nuts in it. Sometimes it'd have diced apple in it. You never knew what was going to be in her. She had a lot of recipes in her head, and oh, I loved every bit of it. My daddy go, I don't eat that. I don't eat that. He'd be so mad because she had put walnuts or hickory nuts. Spend all day cracking hickory nuts and taking a hairpin, picking the goodie out of the hickory nut. The hickory nut is a really hard one to get the goodie out. But she would make hickory nut cake with hickory nuts in it. Oh, I love them. She'd put a nice big icing on it. She was such a cook. Well, you're finding you'll see there's a lot more people that are not into that Christmas thing. But when my generation goes away, I'm sure that a lot of that will go away too. We're living in different times now, and I'm not trying to hold anybody back. I want the times to continue on and be all you can be. It's looking for that element of happiness. And Christmas can be so stressful. Um, it can be very stressful. Well, you got me sick. I'll celebrate with you. I tell you, this year you charge up that bong, and I'll. Oh, I was telling my sister we've had our terms on the bong too, sick. But I was telling her about your bong. You could charge it up with ice. You could put ice in there. And she said, "What?" I said, "Yeah, you can charge that thing up with ice. So when it comes down through there, we had a hookah one time. Everybody liked my hookah." Because my airline pilot buddies bring us the best stuff from Pakistan and the best stuff from Thailand and all that kind of stuff. But she said, "How does it work?" I said, "Well, he can put that down there, and so when he draws up through the smoke, it takes the harshness away." Did you see my cat the other day when I went for a ride, riding on Ruby? My big black cat out there. That cat loves me. I tell you, I bought him a bag of catnip, and he liked that. But oh, that cat, I don't care where he's hiding. If he's out in the woods somewhere, and when he hears that back door open, me going out on the back deck, he will come running. And I'm talking about he just come run up or jump up on that railing, and I hold him in my arms. And he just purrs. And he's a rat killer, man. He's brought me chipmunks and baby squirrels, and he is a ferocious killer. Heck yeah, sick knows he's got us. Hey, let's do on your. If I really would love to make sure I can say yes. I'm gonna try my very best. Let's do a. Yeah, you work up a Christmas theme for the community thing. For those that wants to participate in your Christmas theme. Yeah, I'll wear my Christmas hat over there, my ho 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 hat. I'll certainly stick my Santa Claus hat on. I can't believe I'm still on the air. Well, nothing's blinked or nothing. This place really needs a good cleaning. I can see cobwebs. Oh, this is Halloween, so we won't do nothing till after Halloween. I got drill motors laying over there on the floor that I haven't taken out to the shed. Oh, that is fun. Yeah, our Christmas parties at Bowen. Bowen was really. If I wasn't out in a remote location, if I was back at the home office there, man, I love getting back into the home office by Christmas. We always tried to make it back in by Christmas, and sometimes we couldn't make it in. And they would send a care package to us out there wherever we might be. Bowen would send a care package out, and oh man, we had such good parties at Bowen. They bring in all the retirees. The way it works at Bowen, every Christmas, if you've retired from the company, you can come in and have dinner with the Bowen people, and you have your visitor's badge, and that is really good. Uh, oh, they have alcohol at the company, and you come in, and they open the bar up at 10 o'clock, and you can go over and you have all the different choices of whatever you want to drink, and you can have a toast. They don't want nobody to be drunk because there's no work allowed. This is a company giving a party inside the company, and so before Mad Mothers, the mothers for mad drunk drivers or whatever, Mad Mothers Against Drunk Drivers, or the company had all this alcohol. Well, after '77, they cut down on the. Good morning, Sterling. I, I didn't even see him. Sterling, where are you at today, Sterling? Thank you, buddy. Yeah, you guys got to watch out for me because I can talk for hours and not even know the power's out because everything down here is hooked to the battery down there and it all operates, but I don't know that thing is turned off. And when it goes off, yeah, thank you. Willamette Pass, heading home. Have you ever took your truck across Wolf Creek Pass? I took my daughter over to Wolf Creek Pass over there and over by Colorado, Utah, and that by the Four Corners over there, Wolf Creek Pass. Mothers gets blah, 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 blah. Yeah. Well, there's another pass. Oh, I did Dead Man's Pass. I did Dead Man's Pass, and I got my rig kind of like cattywampus on as you crest over Dead Man's Pass up in Oregon. That comes up over into Pendleton out of Baker, and you're coming up there. Oh, that can be a terrible. Dead Man's Pass can be really bad. Um, Cabbage, we did Cabbage Pass. We've done them all. I lived on the West Coast all them years, so we did a lot of that. And I'll tell you another place right over there by Montauban, Virginia, Big Walker Mountain over in West Virginia on I-77. That's a kind of a climb up through there. One time I was in seventh gear coming up, and I had a fairly good load on the rig, and all of a sudden it popped into neutral. It went boom. Oh, what? And I started gathering around, and I lost seventh gear. I think there was a couple more gear, but I lost seventh gear while I was pulling, man. I had that hammer down. Boom. We made it home. There were 8 degrees. Oh, oh. I pulled a step deck there, but not a spread, conventional step deck. I used to haul these track hoes. I hauled a big track hoe on that thing, where you can drop it. You can just drop it down and because I hauled a lot of mining equipment. And I one time I hauled a V16 engine and this great big cradle, and I chained it up myself. But I did a single binder. I did all the chain in, went through the hooks and all that stuff, and did it all from this side over here, from the driver's side. Well, now let me tell you what happened. I was making the transition from I-65 over into I-24 up in Nashville. The binder came loose and I didn't know it, and the road was all under construction at that time. And that whole frame, 26,000 pounds that thing weighed, the frame and the motor, the V16, with two big turbochargers sitting them way up top of the engine up there. I've hauled many of those right there. I used to haul them over to Key Machinery in Birmingham, Alabama. Yeah, these were the V16 Detroits. We used to haul them to Key Machinery. Oh, no, my apologies. The one we had, the V16, was for the Caterpillar deal. It was a Caterpillar. Yeah, no, it was a Caterpillar engine, but it didn't go in a truck. It was a Caterpillar engine for what was that damn thing used for? It was one of those that drove a dynamo that ran the truck. One of them like a Euclid, or this was a Komatsu or whatever Japanese, one of those 450-ton trucks had a V16, and we hauled that V16. Well, when that chain came loose, it rocked over, and I look over in my mirror and I see the side of the framework at already about 6 inches over the rail. So I stopped over there and got my come along and started ratcheting them and had to pull that whole framework back in there. And then I put me 2 sets of chains on it. Well, 2 sets of binders instead of that single binder. Man, I learned a lesson. I used to haul rolls of steel, and they got where they wouldn't let us chain them up. The company that we haul for, they had this a chalk, they call it. They put it in there in that cradle-like thing. They put the rolls in it so that it wouldn't roll around. It was a safety thing. Yeah, although I brought a D16 here to the house. I was out of time on the logbook, so I pulled down here and parked it on my place. And the V16 had a broken crankshaft in it. Part of it came through the block, and I was taking it back. It was a warranty thing. You know, we took them a new engine and brought the old engine back. That V16 had what they call a runaway on it. It ran away and it set part of the crankshaft out the side of the block. Jim Reynolds, good morning, my buddy. Hey, what are you going to call? What are you going to call? I was thinking Black Mariah, Black Sabbath. You got to name your baby the Triglide. Mine is Miss Piggy. I got a little pig out there out on the front fender. Have you came up for a name yet? Have you and your woman have you come up with a name for your Triglide? You gotta. A name will come to you. I've had the last three bikes I had um, old Black Betty. I had Black Betty, and then my next one was Heavy Betty. It was a trike. I had a Heavy Betty, and now I got Miss Piggy, which is another trike. Yeah, that baby is pretty. It's black. Let me see what's going on. I'm gonna. Oh, we've been doing it in all my trucks. I had a lot of big tar trucks, big super swampers and stuff. And out on the west, we've always named our vehicles. My Jeep had a name. Yeah, when I realized people were naming their equipment, um, then I picked up on it and started naming my stuff. And on the Detroit engine, you got your blower on a V8 type Detroit. One time, I had a situation with my blower where it broke the shaft. The belt driven. It was belt driven, I think. It broke the shaft anyhow, and it started. Here's what happened. We were over there in Arizona on I-10, and the buddy that I was running with, he told me, he said, "Man, you pumping white smoke. I mean, you got white smoke coming out of it." I was just running oil straight out the exhaust and blowing it out there, and yeah, God Almighty, you talking about a layover. Luna, your cat is named Luna. My cat is named. The mother was Onyx. What the heck did she name the cat? She always reminds me that's the cat's name. Oh, your car. I thought, I don't have no glasses on. Oh, your car is Luna. Oh, you must have had a reason. And I'm sure it was a good reason. But everybody, oh, yeah, POS. um, Adam Sandler one time, Adam Sandler, and Sick will know this. Adam Sandler, comedian, he wrote a song, POS, and it was a popular song, the POS car. And I can't remember the words to it, but yeah, see, I knew Sick would know. Adam Sandler, he wrote that song. Moonlight, Moonlight Silver. Oh man, people have reasons for naming the various cars and trucks. I've even had some guns. I used to have a gun hanging up here on that little rack up there that I gave a name. I had one. I had an FNFAL. It was a 308. It shot. I think it was 5.5. I don't remember what it was. It was a 308. It was an FNFAL, Belgium made. It had the carrying handle on it, and it wasn't belt fed. You couldn't belt feed it. You had to banana clip it and magazine. It had already had a name called the Peacekeeper. Yeah, people name all sorts of things, um, and if you those that don't live here in the South, they'll tell you really quick. If you're around for a while, you're going to have a nickname, and they will give you a nickname. It ain't something you pick for yourself. It's something they will call you. And once one of them calls you and they pick up on it, that nickname sticks. In aviation, we have a tool where you join two pieces of metal together. You drill a hole, and if you use a number 20 drill, you would use a number 20 cleco. A cleco is an aircraft aviation thing, and you got a pair of cleco pliers, and you put the cleco in there. When you squeeze down on handles, it makes the little end where it's narrow, and you push it in, and when you release the handle, like a dog nut forms on the other side and holds the two pieces of metal together. Cleco. And when somebody is like as dumb as a box of rocks, you'd call them Cleco. You're as dumb as a Cleco. And yeah, and the other term was wing nut. When you was pretty dumb, you was a wing nut. And down here, if you're really big into racing, you're going to have a nickname like Cooter or Lug Nut. Hey, Lug, hand me a spark plug. Lug Nut. Oh, ain't that something? Yeah, in the army, it's the same way. Guys find somebody, and and you're going to have one that's going to have a pet name. I mean, everybody was, they'd always be called that. What I was always amazed about the U.S. Army, you send your boy, he's born and raised in Connecticut, or he raised in Massachusetts, and he's got a New England accent, and he goes into the Army. And after he does his 4 years, he be talking Southern. See, oh, like a CB handle carried over. Oh, I love it. Oh, you have a lot. Oh, well, you in Motorbomb, Virginia. Yeah, Motorbomb, Virginia. That ought to, yeah, you guys ought to get along really good. He's an artist. Papa Smurf. On the CB, of course, there's a Papa Smurf that's out over there in Mexico, and he runs like 40,000 watts, and you can hear him all over when you're driving your road. Papa Smurf that's one of the popular names on Channel 19 or Channel 17. Birdman. Uh-oh. Come on in, here comes my little love nugget in here. There comes the love nugget. Let me see. Come over here. Let me see. Let me show you. The little love nugget has brought old Mac sausage, egg, cheese, hash brown. Can y'all smell it right there? On a blueberry English muffin. Look, she even put it on a Christmas plate. Well, happy ho ho ho.
Well, I don't have any Halloween plates, so.
No Halloween plate. Okay, here, sweet nugget. Let me give you this. Here, don't cough on my
What?
cup. Don't cough towards my food. That little heifer's got a cold. She doesn't.
I'll go fix you. Do another coffee with French vanilla in it, or do you just want creamer?
Just use regular creamer this time. Thank you, sweetheart. Hey, come over and say good morning.
I did.
You already said good.
Like 2 hours ago,
but there's a whole bunch of people in here. And what's that? And my horse too. I don't understand this. Kids talk about stuff I don't understand. Well, let me tell you this. Like that golden brown hash brown. I told her that I would talk on the radio until breakfast time. So, keeping my promise, let me say thank you. God bless each and every one of you. May God guide you today and make the right decisions. You know, there are going to be those crossroads that you're going to encounter all day long. Shall I be angry? Shall I be happy? Shall I be safe? Shall I flow smoothly through the day? God bless you, and I'm hoping for the very best for you. And I'm looking forward to riding with T-Bone. I'm going to get to see another chapter, another episode. And each and every one of you find a level of happiness And look at this. You may feel happy yourself. Make somebody else happy. Do something that's going to be something that they will enjoy as well. God bless you. I will see you guys throughout the day. We're going to go riding. And so you guys have a good one. Bye bye. If I can find my mouse, there we go.